Hey guys, it's Mary and welcome back to Study Journey. Welcome back to the game series and also welcome to the second episode of creating an avatar. So in today's episode, we're going to be continuing on what we did in the previous episode with building an avatar with JavaScript. So if you haven't watched that, make sure to check those out. They're all in this playlist below. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so in the previous episode, we started on our face or our avatar, but now we're going to be turning this and making it better. So first we're going to work on variables. So what variables are is it defines something and then you can use it multiple times within your code so that you don't have to define it multiple times. And this is also really convenient because if you wanted to change something in your code easily, variables would be a good way if you reuse that variable multiple times. So for example, we're going to define some variables. So how you define a variable in JavaScript is you let something equal something else. And this is for, and so for example, we're going to let the I width, so the width of I, let's let this be 50. And then let's let the I height be 40. And then let's let the pupil width be 22, and then let's let the pupil height be 25. This is because, as we can see right here, we use the pupil height and width like 2 times, and then we use the eye height and eye width 2 times each. So instead of saying for eyes the ellipse has a width of 50, we can just call eye width, and then we can just call eye height. And this is so when we want to change the eye width or the eye height, we can simply change the variable is defined to be right here instead of changing all of the individual numbers. So this is going to be the eye width, and then the eye height, and then this is the pupil width, pupil height, and then the pupil width, and then the pupil height. So let's see what other things we can define with variables instead of like the actual number. Well, as we can see, the ellipse right here, well, we want it to be centered. So we want it to be half of the width and then the half of the height. And as we can see right here, when we set up the canvas, here's the width and here's the height. So instead of saying that the ellipse is 200 by 200, we can say that this is going to be the width divided by 2. And this is the height divided by 2. And if we run it, everything should still look the same because it is the same thing. But if we wanted to change something, like for example, we want to make this I somebody, we can easily change it instead of going through and changing each of the eye widths or the eye heights or whatever we're trying to change. And then I'm going to rect mode and then center everything. So now that we have this, let's start by animating some things. So we want this avatar right here to blink. So when we press it, we want the eyes to blink. So how do we do this? Well, we have the eyes defined right here. And we can call something called if statements. So these are conditional statements. So if something happens, then we do something. So if the mouse is pressed, and then we open it and close it with these brackets. So if the mouse is pressed, first, how do we make the eyes closed? Well, the eyes are closed when the fill is 0, so we have no fill inside it. And then the eyes is going to be 170, 170. The eye width is still going to be the same, so it's going to be eye width. And then the eye height is going to be much smaller. So it's going to be, let's say, eye height divided by 8. So let's run this. So when we click it, it's going to basically look like this. And then we're going to do the same with the other eye. So it's going to be 230, 170, and then eye width, and then the eye height divided by 8. And then this is when the eyes are closed. So when the eyes are open, so if this happens, then the eyes are closed. Otherwise, or else, and then we use these brackets. We're going to use the eyes and then the pupils. But this time, let's run it. So if we close it, it's going to look like this. If you open it, it's going to be eyes open. But now we want these eyes to be colored. So the color of pupils are going to be black. So we can set the fill color to simply 0 because it's the same as saying 0, 0, 0 because when all of the parameters are 0, it makes black. So here's what it looks like right now. And then for the eyes, we want to make it like a brown color. So as we can see, the fill above, we used RGB colors. So we did it with 3 different parameters, and this meaning how much red, how much green, and how much blue. But we can also do it with hex colors, which is basically a hashtag and then a code. And we're going to do quotes around them. We missed the 0 right here. Okay. And they should be like a brown color. And you can just search this up online, the hex colors of JavaScript, and it shows you a bunch of different ones and you can test them out. So now that we have these eyes, if we run it, click, the eyes closed, and then unclick, the eyes open. So basically you can click it as fast or as slow as you want. As long as you're holding down your mouse, then the eyes should be closed. And then when you release, your eyes open. We can also change the color for our mouth right here. So when the eyes are closed, let's make it like a mild smile. You're not smiling that much when your eyes are closed. So let's make the fill white. So we can also do this to change the fill. And then for the mouth, here is the arc. But then when you are smiling, so when your eyes, when you stop pressing the mouse, then let's change the fill color. So let's let the fill color be, let's say, this color. So EA9999FF. And then let's let the arc still be this curve. Hey, make sure don't forget the hashtag EA9999FF. Okay, so now let's run it. So now it's pink. When we tap on it, it's going to be white with its eyes closed. And then we can release for its eyes to be open. Okay, so now let's add some text to this. So how do we add text? Well, we're just going to call the text function, and then in parentheses or in quotations, which means this is a string text, we can say, I'm just going to write some filler text. So write your text here. And then the 2 parameters are how we want to center this text. So I'm going to make it 50 over and then 25 down. So if we run this, it's going to say write your text here. And we can customize this however we want. So now in this code, we have done most of the basic stuff and animated what we have right here. Okay, and now that we have done this, in the next episode, we're going to be continuing our code and making our avatar more customizable.